So President Trump gave a speech laying out a proposal that he wants to make to end the government shutdown and to get his border wall built. Now, I'm very happy to announce that my prediction is still wrong. I've been saying that I think he's going to just declare a national emergency and then build the wall without Congress. Now, I'm not sure why he hasn't done that yet. My guess is that there are still some advisors behind the scenes who are telling him, hey, listen, man, if you do that, it's going to get tied up in court immediately and it will likely get slapped down. So that might be why he's hesitant to just do that, because I know in his heart of hearts that's what he wants to do. That's what Ann Coulter has been begging him to do, and he's listened to her advice many times before. But he didn't do that, and so I'm happy that my prediction was wrong. We'll see if time will bear that out, and he does eventually do that. But here's his proposal. He'll go through some of the details of what he's laying on the table. Take a look.
This is a common sense compromise both parties should embrace. The radical left can never control our borders. I will never let it happen. Walls are not immoral. In fact, they are the opposite of immoral because they will save many lives and stop drugs from pouring into our country. Our plan includes the following: $800 million in urgent humanitarian assistance, $805 million for drug detection technology to help secure our ports of entry, an additional 2,750 border agents and law enforcement professionals, 75 new immigration judge teams to reduce the court backlog of, believe it or not, almost 900,000 cases. However, the whole concept of having lengthy trials for anyone who sets one foot in our country unlawfully must be changed by Congress. It is unsustainable. It is ridiculous. Few places in the world would even consider such an impossible nightmare. Our plan includes critical measures to protect migrant children from exploitation and abuse. This includes a new system to allow Central American minors to apply for asylum in their home countries and reform to promote family reunification for unaccompanied children, thousands of whom wind up on our border doorstep. To physically secure our border, the plan includes $5.7 billion for a strategic deployment of physical barriers, or a wall. This is not a 2,000-mile concrete structure from sea to sea. These are steel barriers in high-priority locations. Much of the border is already protected by natural barriers such as mountains and water. We already have many miles of barrier, including 115 miles that we are currently building or under contract. It will be done quickly. Our request will add another 230 miles this year in the areas our border agents most urgently need. It will have an unbelievable impact. If we build a powerful and fully designed see-through steel barrier on our southern border, the crime rate and drug problem in our country would be quickly and greatly reduced. Some say it could be cut in half. Because these criminals, drug smugglers, gangs, and traffickers do not stop at our border. They permeate throughout our country, and they end up in some places where you'd least expect them. They go all over our country. A steel barrier will help us stop illegal immigration while safely directing commerce to our lawful ports of entry. Many of these security ideas have been proposed by Democrats themselves, and all of them have been supported by Democrats in the past, including a physical barrier wall or fence. Furthermore, in order to build the trust and goodwill necessary to begin real immigration reform, there are two more elements to my plan. Number one is 3 years of legislative relief for 700,000 DACA recipients brought here unlawfully by their parents at a young age many years ago. This extension will give them access to work permits, Social Security numbers, and protection from deportation, most importantly. Secondly, our proposal provides a 3-year extension of temporary protected status, or TPS. This means that 300,000 immigrants whose protected status is facing expiration will now have 3 more years of certainty so that Congress can work on a larger immigration deal, which everybody wants, Republicans and Democrats.
So, yeah, there you go. There's his compromise that he's laying out there. There is a 0% chance that Democrats accept this. Listen, Democrats and Republicans in Congress have now repeatedly passed bills to reopen the government and to get everything running back to normal. The only people who are blocking this, Donald Trump and Mitch McConnell. They keep passing bills to reopen the government, including, I think the number is 70% of Republicans in Congress. So everybody's like, all right, let's get back to normal here. And Donald Trump and Mitch McConnell are standing there negotiating against themselves. Dude, you're not going to get, even if Chuck and Nancy had said, like, okay, fine, we agree to that deal, they're not going to be able to whip the votes to make it so that it actually passes the House. Like, what are you doing? By the way, the Republicans had everything. They had the House, they had the Senate, and obviously they had the presidency. And it's just now that Democrats control the House that he's applying pressure and using the government shutdown as leverage in order to try to get his wall. I mean, that's silly. If you really wanted to try to get it done and you wanted to have a better chance of getting it done, you could have tried when you had the House, the Senate, and the presidency, but you didn't. It reminds me of a little bit of the Democrats when they had a supermajority, and then, they didn't fight for half their fucking priorities, more than that, actually. And then they turn around when they lose the House, and they're like, God damn it, I can't believe we can't get, fill in the blank. It's like, well, you had a supermajority. Now, to be fair to the Republicans, they didn't have a supermajority, but they had the House, the Senate, and the presidency. So now that the Democrats control the House, you think you're going to get your wall through? It's not going to happen. And by the way, what a shitty compromise this is. I mean, look at it. Basically, hey, give me what I want, and in return, I'll give you 3 years of DACA relief. But you created the problem with DACA. You're the one who doesn't want to protect the Dreamers anymore. So you take it away, and then you say, all right, fine, I'll give it back if you give me my wall. The fuck is that? That's so stupid. No, of course not. That's nowhere near. I mean, if you really wanted to have a conversation about the wall, if I'm the Democrats, I walk into his office with a list of, like, every single one of our top priorities. By the way, when I say that, I mean left priorities, not necessarily these corporate Democrats who don't believe in what the left actually believes in. But I walk in with a list of, like, okay, fine, Medicare for all, living wage, ending the wars, Green New Deal, legalizing marijuana and ending the drug war. Like, I bring in this fucking Christmas list of exactly what we want, and I lay it on the table, and I go, all right, let's negotiate, tough guy. Instead, he gives it, what a fucking dumb... Like, that's what I'm saying. It's hilarious, because him and Mitch McConnell are, like, talking to pine cones in the corner of the room. Like, that's what this is. They're negotiating against themselves. Like, the Democrats, let's be clear, they've caved on everything but the wall. I just want everybody to understand that. So it's not like the Democrats get a tremendous amount of credit. Every single proposal that they've put on Donald Trump's desk has been like, all right, let's increase our border security funding by 18 zillion trillion bajillion. And Trump's like, no, I want a wall. Walls are tremendous. Walls are unbelievable. Walls never go out of fashion. Like other things, like many other things, like the wheel never goes out of fashion. So they've given, like, that's the thing, is they've given so much, but Trump is just saying, no, I want the wall. He's not going to get the wall. So this is just a waste of time. And everybody knows now, by the way, because the media usually does a shitty job, but they've actually done a decent job in this specific realm. They've told everybody time and time again that, well, hold on now, everybody except Mitch McConnell and Donald Trump and a handful of Republicans, like, we could reopen the government right now, and get border security. But they don't want to do that because he's holding out for his wall. So you're hurting 800,000 federal workers, and you're keeping the government partially shut down to throw a temper tantrum for something you're never going to get, because you're not even close to having the numbers now because the Democrats have the House. So it's not going to work, dude. And then the final point is, he keeps saying this, and it's fucking infuriating because I don't know if he really believes it or he's just using it as a rationalization for his wall, but he keeps saying, like, oh, we need to lower our crime rate and we need to reduce our drug problem, and that's why we need the wall. Listen, man, if that was really your goal, if your goal was really to reduce crime and reduce the drug problem, the way to do that is to end the drug war. Like, how many times have we gone over this? All of the data bears that out. Look at what happened during Prohibition. When alcohol was illegal, the crime rate spiked because now you took this giant marketplace, shoved it underground on the black market, instead of respectable business people, being involved in the alcohol trade. Now it's fucking gangsters. And so whenever there's a dispute, people settle it in the street with guns, with Tommy guns at the time, and they light people up, and they do drive-by shootings. And instead of going to court and fixing it, you settle it on the streets with guns. So you made the mafia incredibly powerful when you did Prohibition and you banned alcohol, because then they have a monopoly, and they can get all of the money from this market that ain't going nowhere. By the same token, drugs, like them or dislike them, they ain't going anywhere. So it's just a matter, do you want it to be on the black market and totally unregulated and increasing crime, or do you want to have it legal, taxed, and regulated, where you destroy the black market, you get rid of the criminal gangsters, and you make it so that business people are the ones involved in the trade? So if he really believed that he wants to reduce the crime rate and reduce the drug problem, well, then an expert should be there telling him, hey, jackass, okay, end the drug war. Legalize, tax, and regulate drugs. And then you'll see a giant drop in crime, and you'll see the drug problem even reduced. Look at what happened in Portugal. Perfect example is they did decriminalization, and the drug problem actually dropped. So it's really infuriating that he floats these things as like, oh, my goal is to reduce the crime rate and reduce the drug problem. Like, he floats that as his goal, and then his answer is just genuinely idiotic, and it wouldn't have any impact on what he wants. So I don't know if that's really his goal, though. I think he just wants his wall. He has a hard-on for his wall, and it doesn't matter that it wouldn't have the intended consequences that he wants it to have. So, but there you have it. Government's still shut down. He's negotiating with himself and Mitch McConnell and some pine cones in the corner of the room, and this is getting incredibly embarrassing.